Scarlett, so will you take us through the 4 paintings from first to, actually there's one she's still working on that she only started a few weeks ago.
So this is, I started with one. I had no idea where I was going. This was my first painting. This is Daniel's. This painting was designed for my 16-year-old son. This is actually, it's Daniel's world, everything a child deals with at 16 years old in 2020. Everything from Rocket Man. But we were at the height of Black Lives Matters with all this.
What's this,
I
6
always
feet
do,
apart?
Yeah, remember we had to do the distance.
Right.
I
Andy
always do
Warhol.
nods to my artist, man, because that's
I
why
love
I'm
him.
here, my inspiration.
What's POV?
Point of view.
Okay.
Yep.
And then
And
tell
that's
me about,
actually like an Instagram. Had somebody asked me, what are the gears? I don't know. When I was creating this painting, I found this and I did it. But really, if you think about it, this is the gears of society,
It is.
the gears of
It is.
government,
Yes.
the gears of anything in industry,
Yes.
the gears of my mind. So I love these and I try to incorporate them in every painting because they're very strong to me and I love
that's exactly what it brings it all together.
Yes.
Zoomers.
Zoomers, that's what they're called. They're also called the digital natives because that's all they've known.
And there's the
this
devil.
was when 2020, the election was going on. Zelensky.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just,
And this is one of your paintings.
that is, I do throwbacks to myself. And I also take images from these paintings and take them to my other painting. I want to collaborate everything together.
I love your signature.
When I start these paintings, the first thing I did was I did a giant scarlet. So if you watch me, you can follow it. Here's the S. With
Oh
S.
my
Here's the
gosh.
C,
I see
the
it
A,
now.
the R. Wait. It goes L-E-T. And then I think it was a T-T. You see the T here. Which is so weird because you think this is a cross or something.
That's what I thought.
So what I do is I start every one
That's brilliant.
of these paintings.
Brilliant.
So literally, my name is in there. And so this is the thing of that. So,
Your name is embedded in there. This is,
Embedded.
oh my God.
So it's embedded in there, and it gives me the ground to start building and editing. Oh gosh, so fun.
It is
I
just
couldn't wait to do the
wonderful.
second one because I was like, oh my goodness, unleash me, you
Yes.
know? Because to do this.
Yeah.
So the mirror is on these, and they're a little miniature mirror. So we can look at ourselves and see what part we play in these stories and these
Scarlet.
paintings.
Wow.
Because really, where are we? Where do we stand? What part? Is it good, bad? And not as much with Daniel's world, but still, are we with Trump? Are we with Black Lives Matters? I give the pro and cons of all of the world.
I love that.
So it's not my perception or my words, it's Daniel's world, and you get to look and get your own words out of it.
I love that give is right underneath the mirror.
Oh, you know what? I didn't even realize that. Somebody asked me, now you see the perspective? Somebody asked me, why do you have give and Trump right there? And I said, I have no idea. I didn't do it on purpose.
Oh, I see the give with the
But
mirror.
You just saw the mirror and
Yeah,
give.
yeah.
You didn't even see this. So you see, everybody, so when I loved it, I showed this to my
It's
friend. And
different
he goes,
perspectives.
They said, oh my gosh, and the school bus. And I went,
Where's the school bus?
there's no school bus in it.
Oh.
But that's what they saw. That's what's so
Oh.
cool. You see things that other people don't see.
Oh, and there's her signature. I was looking for it. Right there.
You see the T?
And with the rainbow, yeah. And here's the T for the Scarlet.
You see the S
I-
right there. It's clear as day
And
now.
I love that.
There is a nice little figure 8 in here. And so really that's what draws your eye in because
right.
it's a poem. When you're doing art, it's a poem. Just like when you're reading something and it flows and you're reading it, you're like, oh, that's so beautiful. Same thing. Repetition causes that with art.
Yes.
If I repeat certain lines and images, your eye actually is attracted to that and will gravitate towards it.
Oh my gosh.
So I like to look at art as a poem.
Okay, number 2 painting.
Number 2, this is Christina's world, and this is an innocent little 3-year-old girl.
And so what is in her world?
Her world. We've got school shootings. This makes me sad just saying
Look
it.
at the bullets. Oh my gosh. Oh.
I did the same thing. I wrote Scarlet across here. Do you see the top of like one of the things? But this is the next thing I wrote. Lost innocence. And then I started forming around it. We've got the skinny model where somebody wrote up there, eat a hamburger. We've got Botox. We've got, I love this quote. Who quoted this? I can't remember who it is. Art should comfort the disturbed and disturb the comfortable. This is sad, this is heavy. Pedophile-free zone within city limits. It's a real sign.
Oh my gosh.
Okay? This is a Wonka bar, right?
Yep.
You can order it, you can buy it at the store. Of course, probably it's behind the counter, who knows. But this one is specifically laced with marijuana, but they
gosh.
also have them where you can buy them laced with mushrooms.
I didn't know
psychedelic
that.
mushrooms. And so,
Oh.
but I want you to think of a 3-year-old who sees this, has
Thinking
seen
it's
the
a
Willy Wonka movie, sees this, if somebody leaves it laying around, so this is what we're doing.
Oh my gosh.
This is what we're exposing our children to. I put here, gender discrimination, and I like that it said discrimination. So it was kind of
Right.
a nod to both, because here's a little girl, she's forming. Is she a girl? Is she a boy? How is her identity? She's identifying to everything she's seeing. Here's a mother that's written missing daughter. If seen, please contact me because of the age of sexual trafficking
Yeah,
for
yeah.
our daughters and boys right now. It's horrific.
Yeah. What about this person right here with the gun?
You know what? I don't even know when
You
I'm
just-
doing that. I
okay.
back up and I'm like, wow, he looks like a school shooter, doesn't
Well, that's
he?
what I was thinking of, a school shooter.
But
And this little
also-
girl before.
This
yeah.
is Disney.
And Ariel,
And
Aria?
Ariel, let me tell
Ariel,
you,
yeah.
my daughter, we watched that 8 million times. And I put it on there though, because I was like, she's a real hot little character, right?
Yeah.
My daughter at 2 years old, 3 years old,
Right.
was watching her, and she's a sex kitten. And I remember thinking to
Yeah.
I said
Yeah.
to my ex-husband, my husband at the time, I said, this is a really bad thing, because if you think about how awesome this movie is, but really it's about her disobeying her father
Yeah.
and getting everything she wants at the end, the prince and everything.
And look at her figure. You know, little
You
girls,
see?
little girls that grow up thinking that they can look like that. And what's wrong with me if I don't?
Right, that's exactly it. Same thing with,
What is this
Yeah.
run, hide, fight?
that's what you do when you're a school shooting. Oh, God,
Oh,
this makes me
gosh.
sweat.
Yeah, it
kills me.
really, yeah.
Here are all the beauty pageant girls.
Oh, yeah.
And I had somebody ask me what's the war. I had just been in the middle of doing this, and there was a map there, and I wrote war across it.
Yeah.
Who knows
Yeah.
what war? Here's, boob jobs and Botox and butt lifts,
yeah.
Brazilian butt lifts. You can have that done. Cyberbullying, humongous right now. Everything. Don't shoot daycare.
Is this Simone Biles?
Yes, she was the one that was.
Yeah, sexually abused.
by
Oh, that was
her.
horrible.
And this is the exact time this happened when I was working
Oh
on
yeah,
this.
he's just like the nastiest person in the world.
And so here's one not for sale with children. Down here, I really love this part where it said daycare provided, and I gave an address, right? And I said newborns welcome 2 weeks and up, because that's what we do. We bring, we take our children at 2 weeks old and turn them over to a daycare.
I know,
And it's not about judgment. It's about putting this up there so we can be aware.
Yeah,
And so this one, Barbie, somebody wrote slut.
yeah.
Right, and you see what this one is.
Oh yeah, I can. The Catholic priests
Yes, the altar
molesting
boys.
altar boys.
So.
And
this
there's the
is-
mirror.
Yes,
Like,
and this is a very dark side. This one was a really heavy one to do.
Yeah.
And now they just keep getting heavier. I'm like, what is going on? And
Well,
I
the
love
world
what
gets
my-
getting heavier.
There you go, it's just
It's not a world I recognize anymore. The
We're
world.
getting really light and good,
Yeah.
and we're getting really dark.
Yeah.
And so this just shows the dark part. And it's sad and it's hard, but it's both sides. No, this isn't both sides. This is the bad stuff. This is the underbelly.
This is the underbelly and what children go through. Okay, let's move to number
Okay.
3.
So number 3, oh my gosh, this is awesome. This is Anya's world.
Look at the gears. There are the gears again.
Yes.
Now, what is this right here?
So you see this? Do you recognize digital natives? I took this strip. This is part of Daniel's World.
Oh,
I always tie the
yeah,
paintings
yeah,
in.
love it.
This is from Daniel's World.
Okay. Oh, look at is this a train track or just a fence?
That is because the Underground Railroad.
Oh, right.
And I think there's a couple places where it is.
Right. Let's look up here more. Okay, flag.
And this is really cool. This painting is owned by Oprah Winfrey. She said it's not her most valuable, but it is her favorite. It hangs over her mantle in her home. And because of what it represents, she's a big collector of African American art.
I had read that.
And so, but look at this. This, when I saw it, I just couldn't, and I knew it had to be in this painting. It's a slave woman with her daughter.
There's the mirror. Let's take a look down here.
And this is interesting. Rodney King,
I remember that.
3/3/91. It was the first time that they actually caught police on camera brutalizing a black man. You know, everybody was saying it and everything. Remember, that was the big
Yes.
outbreak that
Yeah.
he was videotaped while being beaten.
What's the 16SX?
Okay, so back here it is. This is Alabama, 16th Street. And this was the massacre.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a history about that. This was very poignant to me.
Yes.
White, and my dad said, I was like, I can't even fathom that was allowed. And
I
Dad
know.
said, Scarlett, I grew up in that time.
Yeah.
Where we had our own bathroom, and it just blew my mind that
Yeah.
that happened in the last 100 years.
This is a really sad right here. That is a very sad to me.
And that's it. So here you go. And they're growing up, they're idolizing this kid. Wow, look at this child and what he's doing. And good Lord, that man was talented. But he ended up
He was so unhappy.
trying to look like an absolute white man.
Yeah.
And so I don't understand it, but I knew that had to be up there. This is
Wow.
heavy.
This is heavy. Heavy, and there's Africa.
And I love this. These are things, you know, I thought, what's the definition of a bigot? And so I pulled that up, and here's the definition.
And there's Ukraine.
And you remember this
Yes.
horrific thing. This
Yeah.
one, as I was taking out videos and studying it for this painting, this one hit the most. This was
Yeah.
so hard because I watched it going, what is he doing? When he peed and the pee, I'm being
Yeah,
blunt.
yeah.
When the pee ran, it's like I knew.
Why didn't they-
I'm not a doctor, but I knew they release their urine and everything when they die. And their body releases it.
Yeah,
So I said,
yeah.
oh my God, he's dead.
Oh my
Why
gosh.
didn't he notice?
Right.
Oh, that is a Basquiat throw. Yes, a nod to my man.
To your man.
This is Roe versus Wade. This is dealing with Roe versus Wade right now, which is exploding everywhere. We've got some angry people on every side. This is Mary's world. And this is Mary, a young girl. She's going to be more obviously pregnant. I don't want it to be over the top. I just want a little bit of a bump. So you go, oh my gosh, she's pregnant. She looks like she's in a school uniform. But this is all the decisions that she has to deal with as a schoolgirl. If she's 16, 15, we don't know. But what does she have to deal with the decisions? And I did a lot of maps here because you've got to think, here are the maps and here are the states. So if she lives here, she's got to mark where she can go if she decides to get an abortion. And same thing over there. And then, oh, I live here or whatever. Also, it's the things about if she doesn't get an abortion. Prom. Her first car, I have that in here. Sports, being in high school, all the things that go with it. I have the Congress here from the signing of the Declaration to today's Congress, which is fighting over it. The Scarlet letter, all these different things. And
Happy wedding.
happy birthday, happy wedding, school books. Then we have the people, don't mess with us. And one of the things is I was writing this and it's like, my body, my choice, da-da-da. And I wrote, is it our choice, question mark.
That's the thing. Is
I don't
it our
know if
choice?
it is.
On both sides, whose choice is it?
And I don't know. And so this is very important, I felt. This is a CEO, a woman sitting in her office. That's a dream for a lot of girls.
Right.
Are we going to do that? Do you have to do it with daycare? Does it take longer to get there if you have a toddler? She is part of Rally, which is a foundation for curing childhood cancer. And this is one of the Rally children. And I put it in here. You have to consider that too. What if you get tested and they tell you your child is going to have cancer? Your child has a deformity, and we can tell it has a cleft palate. It's Down syndrome. That's another decision you have to make.
Right.
If anybody's familiar with the Scarlet letter, this is pretty much this story.
Yeah.
I mean, she was absolutely ostracized. And here are the different gestational.
Yeah. So on the other side, yeah, when does a fetus become a human?
Right.
You know, look at that.
And
It
is it
happens
our
so
choice?
early.
I
And
don't know.
yeah, is it?
And this, if you've had a baby, everybody in the world
Right.
knows this book. This is our absolute handbook, the first thing we get when we find
Yeah.
out we're pregnant.
Too funny.
This was neat. Do you realize who this is?
He's a
That's
17-year-old.
Daniel's world.
Yeah.
But I made it a love letter. It says Mary plus Daniel, M plus D. Because that's
Aw,
Daniel's world.
right,
I love you.
right.
Because is he the dad? Does
Right.
the dad get a decision?
Right.
Does she not tell the dad so he doesn't have any part in it?
Right.
Or is it, what's our choice? Whose choice is it? I
Yeah.
don't know.
That's
you
the
see-
question. Yeah, look at that
Here's
precious
Christina.
child.
That's Christina's world. That's her painted
Right.
in pink.
Oh my gosh.
I bring them all back in.
Oh, and look at this fetus, almost ready to be born.
And
Here's the
I have a
mom.
couple of pictures of children on the beach. That was my favorite experience, being on a beach with my children. Here's an orphanage where they've got children in,
Oh gosh.
they need to be adopted.
Right.
What is the choice? What is our decision? Who knows?
Scarlet letter.
I put the calendar in here. As you know, as a woman, calendars are humongous as you're,
Trying to
growing
conceive
up,
or-
your monthly,
Your month-
keeping
yeah.
track of if you're pregnant, da-da-da-da. So that was a
Right,
huge thing I
right.
wanted to have in there for the calendar. Plus, I love the dates in here for when I
Yes.
did the painting.
Yes.
Here's today's Congress. We've got the scales, justice scales. The wedding, think about it.
Yeah.
You don't get to be the perfect bride,
Yeah.
in your wedding gown.
All right, till next time, Scarlett. Thank you.